Top of the morning to you, Dilio T2K YouTube channel. I'm your host, Dilio. Let's talk about what's going on in the music producer streets right now. The streets are talking about the expansion series, or what I would say the musical instruments that are coming from native instruments. Now, what producers have been telling me is that this is cool, but I already got this. I already got Complete. And now I have to buy this instrument again, or this collection of sounds again, to use it on my MPC and Standalone. And I can totally understand that concern, because it's like, hey, I already committed to putting money towards these sounds, and now I have to do it again. My personal opinion is that I think that they will probably get to fixing this issue. I don't think that this is going to be a permanent situation. I think they got to work it out, because you guys think about it. Okay, there's two different storefronts, or two different software access points between Akai in music, or I should say in music, and native instruments. So in native instruments access, that software that you download to your computer, on there is a menu of all their products, like say if you bought Complete and stuff like that. So if you want these sounds, you can go there and pull it down on Contact. Then you got to open up Contact in your software, whatever you want to use, and then you get these sounds. Now on the in music side, they also have a software library. A lot of these companies have that. Korg has one, Arturia has one, Native's got one, In Music has one. And so their challenge would be, how do you populate cross purchases? Now, in my opinion, I think that if you've already bought, or you've already invested in the collection of Complete or something like that, or in the player instruments themselves, that maybe you could just get a code or something that you can then punch into the In Music ecosystem, the software, and then that way you can pull the sounds that way, only if you already got the software that you purchased from Complete. I'm sure that could be something that's trackable, because I am quite confident that the serial numbers, whatever it is that comes with that library of sounds and native access, all I gotta do is just plug this in. Okay, we have a record of this user owning this product or this purchase. Let's just add this code that comes to it. But they probably gotta generate codes from the In Music solar system, if you will, of sounds. So I could see there being a reason for a great concern about this. Producers like, well, I ain't about to buy this thing twice. I already got it. I just don't got it. So I don't know if Akai and Native are charging a convenience fee for this, because it is convenient to have these player sounds in the Akai MPC. But that's where I kind of start to see where these instruments are limited at. The sequencer is not limited. The sound, the output, the input of it, whatever you want to talk about, there's no limit there. The plugins are not limited here. Where we run into the limitations, to me, as far as the user experience is concerned, is the ability to load sounds quickly. Now, one shots, that's no problem. But these advanced instruments, even when I'm trying to like sort of dive into the sound design aspects of these players, and I go ahead and try to pull up a waveform, there's still a load time there. And I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna cry about that. But on top of that, I have to say that I like it when I'm able to just pull up a sound and it's there quickly, like say on a Montage or any other hard standalone keyboard. And that's where I feel like the Achilles heels is on these MPCs. It's not anything else at this point, with the software being advanced and the sounds, especially with these player sounds, they sound really good. Like I like ethereal pads. I grew up listening to new age music, so I always have an affinity for R&B sound, well, new age sounding pads, but I also have affinity towards like R&B and hip hop, right? So I've always liked to mix those two together. But in the case of this, the limitation is loading sounds. So back to the situation. Now, I will tell you this. As a Korg legacy owner, imagine this. If these companies start working together, like imagine this. Imagine like Korg says, okay, I'll play 2 native instruments in Akai. I'm going to do a Triton instrument. This is just me putting it out there. I'm going to do a Triton instrument for your MPC. Standalone. Now that probably wouldn't make the best business sense for Korg, but it would be oh so much fun to have that. But then I would still run into that limitation of loading these sounds up. Now I know as current systems right now, you have only 8 gigabytes, not 8 gigabytes, but 8 instances of these plugins that work with whatever the plugins are. You only get 8 in standalone. So that will be a little bit of a limitation, but it's still an exciting idea. But like, it would be cool. It'd be cool to have those sounds in here on a hardware system without having to find a dusty old Triton somewhere. Because I've seen those Tritons get dirty. Have you seen the Triton these days? They get dirty. They get very dirty. But back to the point I was talking about in this video. So, you know, I think there are some logistics that need to be figured out for the greater user base. Of course, those who have never invested in Complete or any of these players, they're home scot-free if they want to get these plugins, which they sound good. They sound fun. I like their sounds. I like some of their sounds better than the Fabric plugin. The Fabric was good, but the sounds in there were just so dressed up. I'm a simple sounds guy. I don't like to build from that. And I think that the sounds in the Fabric XL was just so dressed up that it may be good for another producer. It just for me wasn't quite the thing. And then when I dive into Analog Dreams, it's like, okay, I like those sounds. And I'm going to do a video talking about this stuff. I like those sounds. Those are cool. So yeah, there's some ecosystems that need to be figured out. What do you think? Do you think Native and Akai will figure this out and find a way to create some sort of voucher situation or some sort of access that enables previous owners of these players to then get the software for Akai? Again, there's two different solar systems going on here. You got the native access and you got the in music software. How do we bridge the gap between those two? I think those are conversations that are being had. And I think it's going to take a longer time to figure out those logistics to make sure they work properly. But I think in this process, it is faster and easier to do that. And I think that the writing's on the wall for Machine, because let's think about Machine users are like, well, hold up, y'all making stuff for who? That's why I got off of the Machine train a while ago. And I don't want to say that. I always like to try and be equitable as much as I can and not try to like clown. But that's sort of why I got off the Machine train a while ago, why I put it up. Not because that the hardware was bad, not because that the hardware wasn't bad, but I had my gripes with software, and I just felt like, I hate it when people say I feel like now. I'm not going to say that. I believe that Native Instruments and Machine, the Machine and user experience for Machine, it wasn't a priority to them. They're still a company that makes stuff, but as far as what I see as an end user, it appeared like, okay, this ain't a priority. We're not getting updates, and so I think Native Instruments is trying, but that's kind of why I stepped off of the platform, because I'm looking back over to FL and other platforms and MPC. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of great features there. But if I could say at the time, Native Instruments did beat Akai to the punch as far as a hybrid system of hardware controller and software. But where they didn't keep going was moving forward in the standalone direction. As a matter of fact, Akai beat them in the standalone, but Akai has been standalone before we were calling things standalone. So there's that dynamic there. So I'm very curious about the direction that Native Instruments will go. Will they be sort of like a Sega to a Nintendo Switch, where they will develop sounds and software for all these platforms and go back? Because that's a strength there. That's a strength there. And I think sometimes you have to go down a journey to see if this something can be your strength. And I think they did a great shot at it. But now what is the direction now that we go in moving forward? They can make you some sounds, and they make some stuff that sound good. I had a funny conversation with someone else, and we were talking about how we still like Massive more than we like Massive X. And I used to really get down on Massive. I did presets for Massive. It was a interesting, very bountiful time with that. So we'll see. Very curious of what things going to go on. There's a lot going on in NAMM right now. I can't be there, but we can still have conversations together about it in these videos. So let me know what you think. Do you think native instruments in Akai will solve this issue for those who have already purchased these players? Or will it just be like, hey, it is what it is? Another saying I don't like. All right, if you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, check out my links in the description below. If you're looking to get gear like an MPC or stuff like that, I got a Zounds links in the description below. It'll definitely help me out with no additional cost to you if you want to get some of this new hardware. Let me know what you think. I'm out. Y'all have a good morning. We got more to talk about later. Peace out.